Why has the Fed been absolutely killing the markets? I mean, come on, what's wrong with this guy? Recently it seemed like we might be getting ready to start climbing up the ladder again to heaven, but the Fed said no and he crushed everything and sent everybody back to hell. The Fed did a 50 basis point rate hike and it looks like they're planning to continue laying it on us over and over again for the rest of the year. But what effect will this have on crypto? And when the heck can we start going back to the moon? Well, sit right there and listen up.
I never sit in no chair, essay.
Because I'm going to tell you how we got in this predicament and how we can get back to making money. You thought I was done talking about the markets and I was only making documentaries now? Well,
you were wrong.
It's just been really boring recently, so I thought I'd try my hand at some documentary-style truth bombs. But just like some of you guys have been sleeping on the markets, the YouTube algorithm has been sleeping on my documentary videos because they don't think you can handle the truth.
You can't handle the truth!
But if you go down and destroy that like button, then it'll show the YouTube algorithm that you do want the truth.
I want the truth!
Because that's what freedom is all about, baby.
They'll never take our freedom!
Now let's get into the video. JP has said in the past that he was willing to Paul Volcker us and to crash the markets if that's what it takes to get inflation under control. And now it looks like that might be what's starting to actually happen. But he's just trying to tiptoe around it like a little girl and do it in a way that doesn't make everybody panic more than they should. He wants to bring down inflation, but he doesn't want everybody to crash the markets completely. This has been driving everyone crazy because no one can really tell what's going to happen. Jerome Powell is on the fence, and that has everyone else on the fence right along with him. Everyone's debating about whether we have a recession coming or if the Fed will actually be able to pull off a soft landing. This man is trying to ease us into a pot like a crowd of crabs so that we don't freak out and pull everyone down further into the boiling water. But everyone who is going to make it out alive, I think, has already made it out. And the rest of us have just been sitting down here in the jacuzzi wondering why it's starting to get hotter and harder to breathe. Back in 1979, Paul Volcker became the chairman of the Fed, and he basically pulled the rug out from under the economy just to bring down inflation. It was an emergency situation and it had to be done, but this time the Fed insists that they can pull off a soft landing. The Fed works on delayed data to predict where the economy is headed, and this makes it extremely difficult to know what buttons to push. Right now it's like playing a video game that's lagging extra hard, by about a month. When Paul Volcker came in charge of the Fed, it was obvious to him what he had to do, and that man attacked the market, sending it into a death spiral straight to the depths of hell. But what he did work, and we did eventually recover, and a lot of people made insane amounts of wealth investing in the bottom of the burning pit. Unfortunately though, most people had their life savings boiled alive and they were scared out of the market, with many people not investing again until the peak of the dot-com bubble, just in time to be dragged down into the pit once more. You don't want to be that guy. If you think that the markets have been dumpy recently due to the raise of 75 basis points, just imagine what would happen and the panic that would set in if we saw rates raised to about 20% again. What we've seen so far is nothing, and in my opinion, it wouldn't take an interest rate as high to cause as much pain in the markets today. Interest rates have been on a steady decline since the 1970s, and every time it reaches this downward trending resistance line, the Fed reverses their plan and starts to cut rates again, sending the markets back to the moon and delaying the inevitable depression looming in the future. Eventually, this will not even be possible anymore, and the free market is going to have to work itself out. But until then, the Fed will probably continue this cycle because no one wants to be in charge whenever the shit really hits the fan. Over the past couple of years, we printed more than half of the money in existence, and that obviously means that inflation has started to come back.
Inflation is much too high.
Now, and I know no one wants to hear this, but the time has come for the Fed to tackle inflation again, and that means a lot of pain. The Fed just did the biggest interest rate hike in the last 22 years, and they're expected to raise interest rates by a further 50 basis points with every meeting until they reach their mystical and magical neutral rate supposedly. But the main problem there is that nobody knows what the neutral interest rate is. They're just using the same data to figure it out that they've been using to get us into this mess in the first place. A lot of people have said that the Fed can't continue to raise interest rates because it'll crash the market, but let me ask you this. Do you think that the Fed cares about your future? No, they don't care about you. Their real main objective is to make sure that the dollar doesn't lose its place as the world reserve currency so that the government can continue to maintain its power. Bitcoin has basically been going straight up and to the right since it was created, and it wasn't even around in the last major recession back in 2008. So no one really knows what's going to happen if we do see a big recession and how Bitcoin and cryptocurrency in general would actually react. Sometimes there has to be destruction for new life to begin, or at least that's what Lord Beers says. Cryptocurrency has never been through a real recession, and it might be about to get the biggest test that it's ever seen. The question is, do you really believe in this technology? Because people who made the most amount of money during the internet's rising were the people who invested and held on through the depths of the dot-com crash. Some companies didn't make it, and of course people who were invested in those businesses lost a whole bunch of money. But the people who stayed informed with the markets and invested in companies that continued to push forward were the people who were investing in companies like Amazon when Jeff Bezos was still sitting at a computer with a spray-painted sign on the wall. A recession is probably on the way, and just like nobody can decide if we've seen the top now, I'm sure nobody is going to be able to decide where the bottom is either. And that's why when the real capitulation happens, most people are either going to be out of the market or too scared to invest because they're not going to know if it's going to get worse. But if you really believe in this thing and you hold on and continue to dollar cost average, then in the long run, you're going to be the one that comes out on top. So in my opinion, the best course of action is probably just to hold the line and continue filling those bags. My best guess is that this will end whenever the Fed stops tightening and starts being more accommodative. This will turn the money printer back on and make it easier for people to borrow money again. So make sure that you strap in and hold the line because the Fed is driving this economy straight off a cliff and his eyes are closed so he can't really see where the bottom is. But whenever we get there, there's going to be a lot of really great gold nuggets to scoop up on the cheap. And I'm not going to be missing that ride. Let me know in the comments if you guys are investing for the long term or if you're just after those sweet quick gains. If you are after sweet quick gains, I bet you're having a bad time right now, but I hope you stick around for the ride and hit that subscribe button so that I can keep you updated with the realness. Either way, I hope you have a wonderful day and don't forget to hit that like button. I'll see you guys next time. Bye.